History of conflict in India and Pakistan. Today I am going to describe the history of conflict or wars between India and Pakistan. The history between India and Pakistan, both nuclear power is inextricable linked. The countries have fought a series of wars since gaining their independence from Great Britain in 1947, largely over the Kashmir regions to which both countries lay claim. India became a nuclear power in 1974 and Pakistan became a nuclear power in 1998. Neither countries has used nuclear weapons in conflict, but many experts fears that ongoing crisis could escalate beyond conventional weapons use. Here is a brief history of conflict between the two countries. August 1947. Following the end of British rule, Britannia or British India was partitioned into India and Pakistan. The provincial division was based on Hindu and Muslim majorities, which caused mass migration for those that did not live in the majorities. Hundreds of thousands of people were killed in communal violence, resulting in an atmosphere of hostility that has remained for decades. The Jammu and Kashmir regions have been disputed since partitions, with Pakistan and India both claiming ownership. October 1947 to January 1949, the first Indo-Pakistan War begins following an invasion of Kashmir by armed tribesmen from Pakistan. Kashmir turned to India for military assistance and in return agreed to hand over power of defense, communications and foreign affairs, acceding to India. A ceasefire was arranged on January 1, 1949 and ceasefire line was established, now called the Line of Control. August 1965, the Second Indo-Pakistan War was sparked by a series of clashes across the India-Pakistan border. The hostilities broke out in August when Pakistani soldiers crossed the line of control into Indian administrated Kashmir in an attempt to start an insurgency against India operations Gibraltar. The war ended in January 1966 when conflict from India and Pakistan signed a declaration affirming their commitment to peace. December 1971, when the India and Pakistan became their own countries, Pakistan was separated into two parts, East Pakistan and West Pakistan. The third Indo-Pakistan War took place when Pakistan erupted into civil war, pitting West Pakistan against East Pakistan, who demanded independence. Millions of East Pakistan fled to India, and quickly the West Pakistan army surrendered. East Pakistan earned independence on December 6, 1971 and changed the name to Bangladesh. By 1974, India successfully tested its first nuclear weapon, code named Operation Smiling Buddha. It took place on the army base Pokhran test range close to its border with Pakistan, July 1989. Armed resistance against Indian rulers began in Kashmir when Muslim parties complained that the 1987 elections were rigged against them. Some citizens demanded independence while others wanted a union with Pakistan. Pakistan supported the movement, calling for the issue to be resolved by the United Nations. India called for Pakistan to end cross-border terrorism. In 1989, several new radical Islamist groups have emerged, shifting the movement from a nationalistic and secularist one to an Islamic one. The insurgency has continued until present day. By 1998, India and Pakistan both conducted nuclear tests. India's underground nuclear test was conducted near its border with Pakistan. In response, Pakistan conducted six tests. The international community condemned India and Pakistan for the testing and urged the two nations to stop their nuclear weapons program. By 1998, India adopted as no first-use NFU policy, meaning the state will not use nuclear weapon unless it was attacked with a nuclear weapon. First, despite questions around the policy, India remains faithful to the NFU doctrine. By 1999, 1999. After nearly 30 years, India launched airstrike against Pakistani-backed forces that had entered Indian-administered Kashmir as fighting increased towards a direct conflict between the two nuclear states. Pakistan's troops were out on high alert. At least 38,000 people fled their homes on the Pakistani side of the line of the control. And in December 2001, five armed terrorists entered the Indian Parliament building and opened fire, killing 9 people. India blamed Pakistan-backed Kashmir militant for the attack, which led to a massive buildup of troops along with the Indo-Pakistani border. February 2007, blast in two coaches of the Samjhota Express killed 68 people, most of them Pakistani national. The train was created in 1994 as a goodwill measure to help families who were separated during the 1947 India-Pakistan partitions. This came at a time when relations were improving between the India and Pakistan. November 2008, 10 Pakistani men associated with the terror group Lashkar-e-Taiba stormed various buildings in Mumbai and killed 164 people using automatic weapons and grenades. Only one of the 10 gunmen survived and was executed in 2012. February 2019, Pakistani-based terrorist groups Jaish Mohammed carried out a suicide car bomb attack in Indian-controlled Kashmir, which resulted in the death of over 40 members of India's parliamentary forces. India retaliated with air strikes across the line of control, and Pakistan shut down an Indian aircraft and captured a pilot. These actions significantly increased tension between the two nuclear states, but 2 days later the Indian pilot was released and tension relaxed. August 2019. In controversial and unexpected move, the India government revoked Article 370, which grant Indian administered Kashmir autonomy. Article 370 gave Kashmir the right to its constitution, a separate flag, and freedom to make laws regarding residency, property ownership, and fundamental rights. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi argued that the article needed to be scrapped in order to put Kashmir on the same footing as the rest of India. Pakistan and relatively silent following this decision, but did highlight in the violence Kashmir has experienced since August